Hello, welcome to Counterpoint Conversations. We're here today at Computex 2025, and today we'll be speaking with Alex Katouzian, who is a Group General Manager for Qualcomm for Compute, Mobile, and XR.
Yeah,
Thank you for meeting with us, Alex.
and wearables.
And Wearables. Thank you. Thank you for meeting with us.
Thanks, David. Really appreciate it.
You're quite welcome.
Yeah.
So we have a few questions. First question is, does Qualcomm see a preference of OEMs for a particular flavor of Snapdragon Elite family of chipsets? And what features and performance metrics are OEMs interested in when it comes to Snapdragon Elite and the platform itself?
Well, we have a variety of customers. Of course, across the PC landscape, we work with everybody really. And the thing, the thing that is most outstanding, in my opinion, is the performance per watt advantage that Qualcomm brings. So, really high performance capability with really long battery life. And that's been the bread and butter per se for the Snapdragon actually entering into the market. Biggest impact was, wow, look at this battery life is so long, and the performance in every metric was actually better than what the market had to offer. And so I think the combo makes a lot of sense for consumers. If you take a look at their preferences, they'll always say battery life, battery life. And of course, they look at people are very educated these days. They look at key opinion leaders. They go through a bunch of different benchmarks and capabilities. They get a good feel for it. But also the advent of AI and the NPU becoming a core that is so important in PCs today. Everyone used to benchmark the CPU and the GPU, and now the NPU is actually getting benchmarked with a bunch of AI applications coming on board, especially if AI is running on the device itself, or applications that used to run on the GPU and the CPU are now being ported to the NPU for a much more efficient process capability. And if you take a look at Copilot Plus PCs, they're models that are loaded onto the device and they're running in the background is pervasive. It's running all the time, right? And that if it was running on a GPU or a CPU would drain the battery. In fact, we have metrics that shows multiple hours of battery drainage versus few minutes of battery drainage as these models are running constantly all the time. And so I think we have a solution here now that entered the premium tier at a performance and battery life that was better than anything else in the market. And the MPU on top of it brought a lot of AI applications that got ported to that core versus the regular CPU GPU.
Great. Thank you, Alex. So is Qualcomm seeing similar trends to what's happening in smartphone with faster growth in the upper range in terms of what's driving this right now?
Well, it's always important to have the capabilities come in at a premium tier at a high tier range of the products, because that kind of sets the trend for the rest of the tiers to follow. And we've done this in the handset market for years now, where the premium tier solution, the Snapdragon premium solution, or the 8 Elite, is actually setting the bar for premium experiences on the handset. So whether it's camera or AI applications or AI embedded into multiple capabilities such as camera and gaming. Gaming is another big deal on the handset side where people actually buy either camera phones or gaming phones. So I think what we want to do is set the trend the same way for PC. And like I said, we entered the premium market to set that trend up and say, we're here at the best performance with the longest battery life, with the greatest MPU that the market has seen in terms of consumer type applications. And then we kind of draw the rest of the roadmap from there. And then one thing that we did was we kept the NPU performance constant across all our tiers. So the X Elite and the X Plus and the X all have the same NPU capability. So even affordable PCs at entry level PCs that we provide our Snapdragon X to will have the same AI performance as the top ones, which is great.
Great. Yesterday, Cristiano gave a great keynote.
Yeah.
And it struck me as the question was, the enterprise segment could be a huge market for Qualcomm Snapdragon laptops in light of the Windows 10 sunset, the 3 to 5 year refresh cycle, and just the demand that seems to be occurring for commercial sector. Does Qualcomm have a strategy to penetrate into the commercial sector, especially for companies that have traditionally used Windows x86 for decades?
Sure. But the Windows market itself is moving also towards non-x86. And I think you heard Cristiano talk about how many native applications are running on Snapdragon. And I think what he told the crowd was they're the top 200 apps running. That kind of occupies 93, 94% of your time that you're behind the PC. So, from a native to even emulated, people won't see the difference. So I think from a software perspective, we're making great progress. On the enterprise side, um, entering the enterprise is a longer time cycle because people in the enterprise have to be able to accept that solution, the system solution coming in, make sure that all their software capabilities are running, hardware interfaces are worked out, and everything's compatible. And we're doing that right now. And we're engaged with top-notch enterprises that are IT managed, that have thousands of people working in their facilities. And what we're doing is we're going through and making sure everything that they need is met through Snapdragon-based solutions from our OEM partners. And what's going to happen is these marquee enterprises are going to have a domino effect on smaller and medium-sized businesses as they see these bigger enterprises adopt Snapdragon. And the adoption is good because they see benefits in MPU stepping up, or even doing code generation on the edge without going to their data centers for higher cost computing capability. They have, again, more productivity because of the longer battery life, and they can work from anywhere. Light form factors that are thin and portable, that are now able to perform and have longer battery life than devices ever did before, especially when it's unplugged. It's a big, vast difference between us and our competitors. So I think that by itself is getting us in the door, and the testing and making sure compatibility is in place and hardware interfaces are in place, that printer issues are worked out. All of those are happening right now, and we're having full concentration to make sure enterprises start to demand what we have to offer, because our marketing campaigns are also targeted towards make sure the Snapdragon brand is accepted and the pull through for the consumer is there.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah.
And Cristiano, yes, you also teased about the X2 platform coming in September. Can you share with us anything that we should be expecting with the X2 platform in terms of performance, efficiency? Can you share anything about what might be on the horizon?
Yeah, in terms of the actual numbers and things like that, I cannot. But what I can tell you is I'm super excited about the fact that the performance capability on the next generation is even higher. Our processing capability has gone up quite a bit, and we've also expanded the roadmap now in terms of tiers. And so, we have even a better premium tier solution than we had before on our X Elite. And now we have the capability to draw down into the tiers as well. And we have our previous generation to come in. And so we have a wide variety of tier support across all the products, the second generation and the previous generation. But bigger and better is where we're going. Yeah.
But we're looking forward to hearing a lot more about it in the coming months.
All right. Yeah. Please join us at Snapdragon Summit in late September, and we'll give you all the details. And
Well, thank you so much for your time, Alex.
thank you for inviting me here.